In this text, he's giving them their instructions. He's saying that as you go to and fro, and there's some things that you have to make sure that you're not doing. You can't be murdering folks and committing adultery and stealing. And you know the basics here. And they should be for us the basics now. But as you've gotten the basics, as you come into a place of spiritual maturity, as you understand the difference between right and wrong, you understand the difference between that which God is accepting and that which God is rejecting. And then you can understand what God's about to do next. He tells them in 32nd verse, you must be careful to obey the commands of the Lord your God, following his instructions in every detail. Can I just be real with them? The reality of this thing is that sometimes God will say some stuff to you that just don't make sense. Y'all not talking to me. Sometimes God will take you to the most far out the way places to get you to some place that you thinking you should be just like that. Sometimes God will do some things that you won't quite understand in the forefront, but you will understand it better on the back end. He says, following every instruction to the T of the letter. We don't like to do everything God tells us to do. We want to do the stuff that's easy. We want to do the stuff that's not going to stretch us. That's not going to take us outside of our comfort zone. We want to do the stuff that's just enough to get by. We don't really want to put it in real work. Because if we put in some real work, that might mean that we have to change. And the reality is, we as a people, and I'm not talking about black people, I'm not talking about church people, I'm just talking about living, breathing human beings. We as a people have a problem with change. Because we like ourselves. We like how we operate. We like how we navigate. We like how we get down. We like how we get things done. It works for us. And when folks want to start telling us that we got to do things differently, then Houston, we got a problem. When folks tell us we got to do things another way, then we get a little bit upset. Then we get a little bit bothered. We get a little bit stiff-necked and we don't want to move. But God says if you want to go to the place that I have prepared for you, then you got to move. Tell your neighbor, you got to move. Tell your neighbor on the other side, you got to move too. And not just a little bit, but you got to move as much as God says to move in order to get the result that God has intended. I didn't say the result that you're expecting. I said the result that God has intended for. It tells them, stay on the path that the Lord your God has commanded you to follow. There are several different types of folk. There's the type of folks that don't want to get on the path to begin with. I'm not going. They that you AC double hockey sticks, I won't go. I'm like a tree planted by the water, I shall not be moved. So you got those type of folks. And then the second type of folks are the people that will get on the path, but then they'll start to wander and start to waver. You always gonna find some wanderers and some waverers in the bunch. Because the wanderers and waverers, I know I'm making up a word, that's all right. So I know he told you that I'm an educated brother, but sometimes you gotta say stuff to get the people where they are. The wanderers and the waverers, they're in our midst, and what they do is they're easily distracted, and consequently they have a proclivity to distract other folks. We're going down Philadelphia Road, and then we're gonna hang a left and hang a right and get on 40. Y'all with me? Yeah. I used to live out this way. Go ahead. Go ahead. You traveling down Philadelphia Road. Got the caravan of saints with you. Y'all trying to get to that place that God has ordained for us all to be at the appointed time. And then here go Sister Sally, pulling off at the Royal Farms to get some chicken. Here go Brother John pulling into the Best Buy. All sorts of stuff that has nothing to do with what God has going on right now. Isn't it interesting how folks get so easily distracted? It's clear what God is doing. It's plain as the nose on your face. But you figure we got time. We got time. We'll get there. God ain't going nowhere. No. God is always on the move. As my sister would say, the worst place you could ever be is where God used to be. Don't be late showing up to the appointed time that God has set aside for you to be blessed. It says, stay on the path. You got the folks that won't get on the path to begin with. You got the folks that's going to get on the path and they're going to wander off. And then there's always a remnant, the faithful few that will stay on the path to the end. I'm believing the fact that you're sitting here at 4:15 in the afternoon is a signal to me that you wanted a faithful few. Hey, everybody else said, well, I gotta go on home. Monday come early. I did my part early on in the week. I worked in the kitchen. I did this. There's always a faithful few that are willing to stick that thing out to the end because they believe that God is going to bless them all the more.